Okay, boys and girls, last time we finished reading, we were on page 13, and Blanco and his grandma, it's Thanksgiving, everyone's coming over to their house, and they are cooking all the food, and it's getting to be around 7 o'clock, and people are going to start to show up. So the carne porco is all finished, and so she thinks because that is all finished that the turkey has to be finished either. And she is totally ignoring the fact that the popper on the turkey has not popped up. And so Blanco is trying to tell her that it's not ready, and she's like, but we have to get everything else ready. Everybody's going to start showing up. So she takes out the pork and she takes out the turkey, even though we know the turkey's not ready. She's not listening to Blanco whatsoever. So the doorbell rings, and the rest of the family is coming, and we realize that they're bringing food also. Okay, now it's just supposed to be the traditional American Thanksgiving meal that Blanco wants, but Blanco's mom has told everyone to bring food, that they're supposed to be having this traditional American Thanksgiving meal. She doesn't trust that Abuela will be able to pull off this traditional American Thanksgiving meal. So she's told everyone else to bring food, and they have brought traditional Cuban food. So Blanco is not happy about this, okay? He feels that Mama is purposely trying to sabotage this meal that Abuela and he have been working on, that she's purposely trying to make it go bad because she and Abuela do not get along. So they begin to eat, and before they begin to eat, Blanco reads a prayer that he has written for his class at school. And the class the family starts to kind of act like they don't understand the prayer. So this Thanksgiving is not going planned how Blanco had envisioned it. He's not thinking this is the traditional American Thanksgiving. So they all begin to eat, and they all start questioning the food that has been served, the American food. And the one uncle is eating the turkey, and he says it's dry, and he pours the fat from the pork onto the turkey and says how much better it is. Blanco's just really disappointed in his family that they can't give him this true American Thanksgiving like he had wanted. Now, you have to remember, though, has he told them, other than Mama and Grandma, that this was the plan? And so then they take the crayon jelly. Remember, well, it's called jelly. So why wouldn't they think to put it on the bread? And so they take it and they put it on the bread, which we know is not really supposed to be eaten that way. His father puts on music, and it says on an 8-track tape. They didn't have CDs back then, so we know it's an 8-track tape. That's how they're playing music. And it says tape with 8 billion songs. Now, we know that is an hyperbole, a complete exaggeration. There's not really 8 billion songs on the 8-track by any means. The family's dancing. They're dancing the Congo line. They're not doing this entire Thanksgiving any sort of way that Blanco had planned. Now, we know, other than the food to make it a traditional Thanksgiving, families are just getting together and they're just celebrating. So really, they are having an American Thanksgiving. They have the food, there's music, they're dancing, they're getting together as a family, which is what we want at Thanksgiving, is to come together with friends and family and give thanks. And so I don't think Blanco realizes that the family getting together is what is important. It's not necessarily the food. Thanksgiving is people coming together. And so that is what is really happening here. He talks about, as they're doing the conga line, Abuela comes in. She's gotten a phone call. Her family that is still over in Cuba, they find out, is going to be able to come to America. They're finally getting out of that exile in Cuba and is going to be able to come. So they get great news and they're all happy about it. Once again, they're still celebrating Thanksgiving. They're coming together as a family. So he kind of connects that, his grandmother's family being able to come to America, he kind of compares that to the Pilgrims, okay, their voyage over here to America. He does that on page 18 when he's talking about the Pilgrims and their voyage and how they had to leave England and the journey that they made. And he doesn't remember his journey over here to the United States. But he says, but they were not a lot more, maybe my family didn't know anything about the turkey and the yams or the pumpkin pie, but they were a lot more like the Pilgrims than he had realized. Right there is the climax. Blanco makes this transformation and realizes that his family is like those Pilgrims that came over here to the United States, okay? And it's this realization that he does have an American Thanksgiving. It's not necessarily the food that's making it at the Thanksgiving, but it's the coming together as a family and giving thanks. Now, the next morning, we find out that everyone has been sick, okay? And we know what they're sick from. They're sick from eating raw turkey, turkey that was not done, okay? But no one admits that it's the turkey. They all blame it on something else, which I think is outstanding because Blanco's family was resistant about this Thanksgiving and having this American food. And in the end, no one blames it on the turkey. And so Blanco ends up getting this true American Thanksgiving, not exactly how he pictured it, but he has an American Thanksgiving because of the fact that they came together as a family and gave thanks. Okay? So that is our story of the first real Thanksgiving for Blanco, our first personal narrative that we've read. I kind of wanted to maybe discuss a few more things, so just give me a second and get